Anyone who watches Bluey doesn't always notice the incredible details that appear in the show. Are you ready to discover the secrets hidden in Bluey? One of the cutest and coolest details in Bluey is that the spots on her back look a lot like the shape of Disney's Mickey Mouse head, and this is not an accident. The truth is that Bluey was created by Joe Brumm in 2016, but it only got approved and produced in 2018 for Australia's ABC Kids channel, and it was only the following year in 2019 that Disney started broadcasting the show worldwide. This design choice for Bluey was definitely meant to catch Disney's attention, and it clearly worked, right? And if you want to learn more details, stick with us. Get comfy and come with us, because another Cinewave is about to start. Still talking about the spots on the characters' backs, you've probably noticed that Bluey looks a lot like her dad, Bandit, while Bingo looks like the mom of the Healer family, Chili. But since the show's production is very well done, if you look closely at the sisters' spots, you'll notice that their patterns are actually swapped, meaning Bluey's back spots are more spread out, which is a trait she inherited from Chili. Meanwhile, Bingo has only one large spot on her back, something she got from Bandit. This detail shows how each of them took after one of their parents and how they truly are a family. Another family that follows a somewhat funny spot pattern is the red Kelpie family, which is Rusty's family. It's important to look at all of them because, as we've mentioned in several videos, Rusty would be the main character. The youngest daughter in the Kelpie family, Dusty, has just a small circle on her chest, while Rusty's mom has a spot pattern that looks very much like a wave. Now, Digger, who is Rusty's older brother, has a downward arrow with some details on top shaped like a V, and our favorite red Kelpie, Rusty, has an inverted square, or rather, it looks like a diamond. Meanwhile, Rusty's dad also has a downward arrow, but without the details on top like his older son. That's pretty cool, right? If you've ever wondered what that design on Snickers' hat is, just know that the green spot is actually the map of Australia, the country where the show takes place. Also, there's a reason why the colors of that hat are yellow and green. Australia uses these colors to represent the country in sports like hockey, rugby, and soccer. This happens because green and yellow represent a very famous flower there, the golden wattle, and that's why the little dog wears a hat in those colors. It's also for this same reason that Bandit is painted in those colors in the Rugby Grand Final episode. The biggest family in Bluey is definitely the pink poodle family, with Coco being the main one. It's a shame that not much is known about this group of adorable pups, but what we do know is that Bluey's friend has 8 siblings. From the photo that Bella, the mother of the family, shows to Chili, we learn a bit more about them. Going to Bella's left, we see Coco's oldest brother, and you can tell he's already a young adult. He must be about 20 years old at most. Next to him, we have the second oldest, a sister who is starting to become an adult. She must be around 17 or 18 years old. Next to the father, we have the third pup in the family, a boy around 14 years old. Now let's look at the pups in the front. The puppy with glasses is likely the 4th pup, and he looks about 10 years old. In front of the father, we see the 5th oldest. She must be around 9 years old. Between the 4th and the 5th are 3 other pups, one wearing a flower. This puppy looks very similar to the one with a star in her hair. We believe they are twins because they look very alike. They must have been around 7 years old when the photo was taken. In the middle of them is the pup who came right before Coco. She was definitely 3 years old at the time. And in the center, we see Bluey's friend herself, who was still a baby, meaning that in the current timeline of the show, they have all grown up. With that, we know that Coco has 3 brothers and 5 sisters. In the episode Quiet Game, in one of the hallways, we see a sign behind Bluey showing a group of astronauts. This group looks a lot like the game Among Us, which rose to fame in 2020. Have you ever played this game? In the episode Kids, we see a really cool detail in a supermarket hallway. When Bandit is walking by with the cart, we see a box that looks like a board game on one of the shelves. If you look closely, you'll notice that the image on that box is actually the Healer family's street and house. Not to mention, there's even a Bluey box inside the box. Could this mean that our little dog is famous in her own world? Would you like to meet Bluey in the real world? Comment the hashtag Bluey so we can get to know you. Going back to Quiet Game, in the same hallway as the Among Us reference, we see a robot and a truck on a shelf. If you look closely, this is a tribute to the character Optimus Prime from Transformers. Still in the same episode, we see other toys and Easter eggs, like a Bluey book displayed in a shop window on the street. And you might not know this, but the unicorns the girls are going to buy for Muffin are inspired by My Little Pony. Have you ever seen the Pokemon in Bluey's room? No? We'll show you. In several episodes, we see a pillow in the girls' bedroom, and anyone familiar with the first generation of Pokemon knows that this pillow is completely inspired by Mr. Mime. And this Pokemon fits perfectly with the series because its power is using invisible magic, just like Bluey does in many episodes. In the mini episode Alongside, we see the moment when Bluey is having breakfast and she's about to eat cereal stored in a colorful box. That box is a reference to the cereal Fruit Loops that exists in the real world. Did you notice that? In the episode Tradies, we see two new characters building a pond and fish area for the healer house. One of them is having problems with his girlfriend. They were fighting. But one detail that very few people noticed is that this character has a cherry tattoo on his arm. And what does that mean? It's simple. Cherry is his girlfriend's name. Wow, he must really be in love. If you watched the episode Turtle Boy, you probably got really emotional. But one thing that almost no one noticed is that at the beginning of the story, Bingo is watching a TV show where cats are riding a motorcycle. In other words, this confirms that cats exist in this universe. One thing no one noticed happens during the episode Burger Shop. Right at the end, when the girls are drying off after spending several minutes in the bathtub, we see that their fur is all fluffed up. If you look closely, you'll notice that this is a reference to Sonic. Bluey's fur like that makes her look a lot like the fastest hedgehog in the world. Did you notice that? Only longtime fans caught this. In the episode Fairy Tale, when Bandit is talking about what the 80s were like, there's a cassette tape with the name Bad Medicine written on it. That's the name of a very famous song by the band Bon Jovi. Have you ever listened to it? Tell us, do you like rock? We bet you do.
Don't forget, subscribing is the easiest way to make sure you never miss any of our videos.
In the episode where Bluey is the main character, we also get a really beautiful detail that will probably get you excited about the future of the series. This episode is from season 2, and in the corner of a wall, we can see that Bluey drew a picture of herself next to Jean-Luc. Even after so much time, our main character hasn't forgotten her Canadian friend, which is why it's very possible that he might return in a future episode. In the episode Bob Bilby, we can see that in the garage scene, there is a field hockey trophy. And if you don't know what that is, that trophy belongs to Chili. She loves this sport. It's definitely Mrs. Healer's favorite game, which is why she has a trophy, because when she was younger, Chili was a field hockey champion. In some episodes where the Healer family living room appears, we can see a plush toy shaped like a hamster. This toy is a reference to the famous Japanese anime from the 2000s, Hamtaro, where cute hamsters solved problems in the coolest way possible. This is one of the classic anime shows, and the creators of Bluey probably like Japanese animation. What about you? In the same scene where the Hamtaro reference appears, if you look at the hat rack next to the door, you'll see that Bingo left something special there. Yes, that's Floppy, the best friend of our little red healer. Do you think Bingo should take better care of her favorite toy? One of these days, she might end up losing Floppy. What do you think? One of the coolest hidden things in Bluey is the references to the real world, and one of them is the dog paw logos on the phones and computers in Bluey's world. This is a reference to the Apple brand from our real world, because it shows that there's a super famous electronics brand, like computers and smartphones, in Bluey's universe that everyone uses. In the episode Helicopter, one thing that almost no one notices is that the visual style of this story is a perfect illusion of a helicopter flying. Bluey pretends she's piloting one of these aircraft, and one thing you can notice is that the clouds are drawn as if they are moving away at a very high speed. This illusion is a way to show that Bluey is flying in a helicopter, but it's all just part of her imagination. Pretty cool, right? And finally, you may have noticed that Bandit has a yellow patch on his belly, something that none of his daughters have, but that will change in the future. In the episode where we see Bingo as an adult next to her best friend Lila, we can see that a yellow patch will grow on her belly, and the reason for that is because she is getting older. This is another trait that Bingo inherited from Bandit. If you want to see all the details of the character's growth, just stay here with us.
Enjoying it? Then click one of the 2 videos we left on the screen and keep going with us. See you next time.